Hello, this is Tim Hellman.
And I'm Jake Tenpass.
And this is Movie Talk. Today we're going to review The Amazing Spider-Man. It's Marc Webb's reboot to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Starts over, goes basically over a lot of the same plot points as the original Spider-Man, but it stays actually in the high school years. It's basically about him getting his powers again, and this one focuses a little more on him having to deal with who his father was and why he abandoned him. The Lizard is the main villain.
Is that his official name, is the Lizard?
What was his name? You know,
I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the
He's some scientist that worked with his father.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a mentor to his love interest in this one, which is Gwen Stacy rather than Mary Jane, because Gwen Stacy was actually the original love interest in the comic.
I really liked Rhys Ifans as the Lizard character's name is. I really liked him. He was my favorite part of the movie, pretty much consistently throughout.
First, let's just give our ratings so we know where we stand.
Okay.
We've already talked about this, but I give it 5 stars.
And I would give it 2 stars.
2, not even 2.5?
No.
No?
No, I mean...
You don't think that's a little harsh?
I mean, I guess if 2 stars is 40%, maybe that's harsh. I would give it more like 60%. It's a D. I would give it a D, like a solid D. If I was grading it, I'd be like, maybe a C minus. I mean, I'd heard so much about the rapport between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and I think Emma Stone is very charming and very charismatic. You know, I don't know. I mean, I won't say that I didn't think it was like a horrible movie. I didn't think that it was like, I wasn't watching it going, this is so amateurish, but I will say the choices that were made for the way that Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield acted, they're like sort of hyper awkward, talking to each other like super fast kind of thing, didn't work for me. I didn't love the action sequences.
Andrew Garfield either?
Andrew Garfield was fine. I didn't necessarily love the dialogue. Here's the thing. I like Andrew Garfield better than I like Tobey Maguire. I don't like Tobey Maguire. I don't find him to be particularly compelling, and I don't particularly like Kirsten Dunst. However, I thought Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire's chemistry in the original Spider-Man was far more convincing to me than Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Absolutely. And that's the thing is I like the Gwen Stacy story. I like they brought Gwen Stacy back. I just didn't really care about the chemistry between them.
What about the story involving the father and the police?
I didn't really feel like, I
like how they brought the police conflict more into this.
Well, Dennis Leary's awesome. Yeah. I mean, Dennis Leary's...
I know, but I really like the scenes where the police were chasing him.
That was good. However, it also facilitated one of the dumbest scenes of the movie, which is where he tells Emma Stone that he is Spider-Man, and Emma Stone's like, oh, that's crazy. If you are the police chief's daughter and your boyfriend tells you that he's the masked vigilante that your dad's been chasing forever, and you're just like, oh, whatever. You know, it's like, it was not written like how a real person would react.
Whatever, but...
Well, she didn't really care.
She understood what he was trying to do, I think, and...
I felt like there were a lot of...
She understood her father to know that he had a wrong view on the vigilante.
That could be, but I still think you would have a moment of being like, what? A lot of times the way that characters react in that movie seemed motivated by keeping it to a decent running time. They were like, okay, well in real life this character would totally freak out.
That's a good line for a review.
Because we needed to get to the next scene, let's just have her be cool with it. So that was my thing is, and there were like just other things that didn't make any sense. Why are all these lizards following the lizard guy?
Are you sure they don't go in the sewer? I don't know anything about
that. Yeah, they are going into the sewer.
No, but in real life they don't head down to the sewer?
Okay, first of all, in real life there are not geckos in New York. Okay. There are not geckos and iguanas and shit just randomly patrolling the streets of New York. That's why I was like, where did these lizards come from? How many aquariums have they escaped from to like be like all flowing into the sewers?
Well, maybe the lizard let them free.
Right. We didn't see that. That's going to be in the expanded version. The lizard's secret. Yeah. Okay. The one other thing I have to get to. The music in The Amazing Spider-Man was some of the worst music I have ever seen in a mainstream Hollywood movie. It was so cheesy. It felt like they had gotten the composer from Days of Our Lives. Like,
I didn't have a problem with it, but I don't remember it right now.
My biggest complaint about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies was that every time he'd put on the suit and start swinging around the city, it looked like a ridiculously cheesy video game. I didn't buy into it. I thought it looked stupid and very CGI. One thing they definitely improved upon the original movies with was when he puts on that suit and swings around the city, it looks like a person in a suit. The CGI has gotten so much better, I feel like, since they did the first trilogy, that, like, it really looks cool. And I really enjoyed that they had finally corrected this one issue I had. The one problem with it is, when he puts on his mask, how does it just all of a sudden seamlessly blend into all one piece? Did you notice that? It's like he puts on his mask, and all of a sudden his mask is one piece with the shirt, but it's not. It's like a separate mask he puts on, but then all of a sudden it magically blends in, and there's like no seam.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but it's true.
Evidently, I like costuming. I noticed the costuming, but that was one thing that I thought the textures of the suit, the way that it looked when he was swinging around, were a lot more enjoyable.
I had a really emotional response to the character, and
well, okay, so here's the thing that I think is interesting is, of course,
the character's really relatable.
You can tell with anybody a lot about them by who their favorite superhero movie is, and I mean, I think it's like it says a lot about you that you like Spider-Man, because I think Peter Parker is a great character for you. I think he represents things. Whereas, like, I definitely feel a lot more. Like, for me, Bruce Wayne is like the character that I relate to. He is a guy who was born into some privilege and has struggled throughout his life, and he is sort of dark and has a dark perspective on the world and fights crime despite the fact that sometimes he believes that humanity can't be saved. It's like, I go out there every day and I do what I do despite the fact that I think the world is doomed sometimes, you know, so I relate to Bruce Wayne in that respect. And I think, you know, Peter Parker is a character who's struggled with adversity throughout his life, people misunderstanding him and not getting him, and that, I mean, that's what makes him
that's definitely my favorite thing about that character and those movies.
The best scene in the Spider-Man movie, for me at least, was the scenes where he like punks Flash.
Oh, yeah,
like that scene cracked me up. Like, I really like that, and a little reminiscent of Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I was not wowed by this Spider-Man, and the funny thing is, I went into it with very low expectations.
I didn't go very low, but I didn't think it was going to be as good as the others, and that's why I actually liked it a lot more.
And I was like, wow, I had low expectations, and it didn't really change that. It was like pretty much what I thought it was going to be like, which was meh.